guys, what's up? It's Joe Rady from Rady's Rides. I'm back here at Elder Ford in Tampa, Florida, and guess what? We have a very, very special Mustang for you. This is a 2019 recently traded in Shelby Super Snake. Now, before we dive into this very special car from Shelby American, let's talk about what's going on here. So I really want to wrap our minds around, should you be searching for a car like this, a freshly traded in, only 1-year-old 2019 Shelby Super Snake, or should you take your money, your hard-earned money, and go buy a brand new Shelby GT500? Now let me explain the differences and explain what's going on. So Carroll Shelby, all the way back in 1965, worked with Ford. They would send him Ford Mustangs and he would convert them into Shelby GT350s. That was done out of California. Fast forward to the 21st century, guess what? Shelby American is still running strong, even though Carroll Shelby unfortunately passed away back in 2012. We do have his amazing name and that amazing organization that's taking Ford Mustangs. This car started off life as a Ford Mustang GT with the performance package, was sent to Shelby American, which is now located in Las Vegas, and they turned it into this fire-breathing, supercharged V8 power plant of a Mustang. Now, I know a lot of people know that Ford brought back the GT500 name for 2020, supercharged, 760 horsepower, only available with that 7-speed DCT. Now, what's wonderful with this setup is you could have your cake and eat it too. If you still want that supercharged goodness, but you want to road through your own gears, you could go with the 6-speed, or you could go with that fast shifting 10-speed automatic. But one thing is for certain, with this black on black Shelby Super Snake, you are getting a lot of performance and you're getting a vehicle that is so unique that you're going to be able to stand out from the crowd, that corral of Mustangs at your next car gathering, car show, or drag racing event. So let's go ahead, let's dive into this 2019 Shelby Super Snake and see, should you be buying this or should you be going inside and buying a 2020 all-new GT500? Right off the bat, the styling. It really shows such aggressive look, but also purposeful. Let's start up at the front. Now, with the Mustang GT platform, you're gonna get that newer style headlight. So if you've always been scratching your head wondering why the GT500 and the GT350 has the older style headlight, you never liked that style or it's kind of a little bland, you do get the newer style Mustang GT headlight design. You do have the LED tri-bar setup for your daytime running lamps. You work your way down, this is all Shelby American. So you're gonna get a full functional corner intake. And I mean, when we say functional, we have functionality here and also far on the side corner. You can see the multi-plane front splitter with that side die plane that kind of curls up. That's gonna give us extra downforce and it's gonna help scoop tons of air because this is gonna be used to help cool the brakes for aerodynamic flow, downforce, and that's what makes this extra special. It's not just about extra horsepower. You're getting fine tuning from Shelby American that's gonna make this Mustang GT perform like none other. Now, as we kind of drift across the center grille, all unique, flat black. You do have that honeycomb design. It is functional up top. My one zonk is I don't like this blocked off section. I wish they would have just left it all functional, but you do have the Shelby name, and boy, oh boy, the black with the flat black racing stripes is just spot on the money. You can see this lower area, unique. They did it at Shelby American. I love the way you have this lower lip painted the same body color, and then there we have our dual setup for our splitters. Each of these are gonna add more downforce, because remember, we wanna stop air from going underneath the vehicle. That creates lift at speed. We wanna give downforce, but we also wanna just scoop gobs of air, like with a big snow shovel, just throw the air in there. Now, since this is a Shelby Super Snake, you are gonna get increased radiator capacity, heat exchanger capacity, so you're gonna get more cooling than you've ever gotten on a supercharged Mustang. Now, when you get up onto the hood, fiberglass composite hood, unique to the Shelby Super Snake. You do have these two functional intakes for channeling air. The reason why I'm gonna zonk is I wish it was carbon fiber. I wish it was carbon fiber, or maybe even gloss black, kind of maybe would have blended it in a little bit more. But the good news is I love that twin inlet design, and on the back side, pure sexiness. Look at this, you got heat extractors on the backside. This reminds me so much of a 1969, 1970 Shelby GT350, GT500 hood. Great flow to it. You can see how they work that aerodynamic flow towards the A-pillar, and you can see the rise really, really nicely done on this particular Super Snake. Now, when we come around the bend, what are we working with? We're actually working with Shelby American forged wheels. So these are forged wheels. A forged wheel is stronger, it's lighter, and it's gonna give us less rotating mass. So that means we're gonna get quicker steering from this Shelby Super Snake. Now, it is sitting on low ring springs, and they do a whole go through when beefing up your anti-roll bars to stop body roll. We're also beefing up performance with our brakes. Check out the massive two-piece rotor. So you're gonna get slotted and ventilated with the aluminum hat, two-piece rotor, massive 6-piston Brembo calipers are gonna clamp down on that rotor and just really shed speed so quickly, like a Cobra sheds skin. That's how fast this thing brakes. Love the way it has the Shelby name on the caliper, and also the Brembo, because Brembo is the company that produces those. The Shelby American name stamped on the wheel, even the center cap here with Shelby Super Snake looking really good, and you can see the amount of gap. Absolutely perfect. That's a 20-inch wheel, 275 on the width, and a slim 35 series sidewall, but that's what you're getting when you go Shelby. Now, when you go down the side, you have a nice large Cobra that is so synonymous with Shelby. It's like peanut butter and jelly. You go back to the original Ford Cobra, that's 427, the 283 Cobra. That's why there's that connection there that has lasted all these years. And this is a true Shelby car. You buy a Shelby GT500, yes, it's got the Shelby name on it, but that comes directly from Ford. It does not pass through Shelby American whatsoever. We have carbon fiber on the mirror caps looking really good. Of course, those flat black racing stripes are gonna go all the way across the top. Look at how they reworked this lower sill. This is totally unique to the Super Snake. They added aerodynamic aids at the front and the rear to channel air from the side of the vehicle all the way towards the rear. I don't know if you could see, if Victor could pick it up, the Shelby flat black side stripe. I like the way it ends right at the end of the door there. And of course, up front, it says Super Snake, which is great as well. Now, when we get to the rear, 305s. So we're talking about a wider wheel and tire setup, 30 series sidewall, still a 20-inch wheel, but even out back, look at the size of that rotor. I bet you, if you ate pizza last night, and I know you did, where'd you get your pizza from? Your pizza was not as large as this rear rotor, let alone the front rotors. And you're still gonna get a nice size 4-piston caliper with those forged wheels. I mean, unbelievable, just the look. And you know when we take it for a spin, it's gonna drive like no other Mustang. On the rear pillar, I love the way they put the Shelby badge here. Reminds me of the Shelbys from the past in the 1960s and right up to that 1970 mark. And then as we wrap it around the rear, you get this extra extension on this beautiful trunklet spoiler. So this trunklet spoiler is all Shelby, and then you're gonna get this additional piece of aluminum trim here with the Shelby name. We kind of drop down, Shelby name there, and then on the exhaust, you're gonna get this specially tuned Borla exhaust, very unique on the tailpipes, the way it's integrated into this rear diffuser, which is all unique to the Super Snake. So you're getting not only that performance, but you're getting such a unique Mustang that there's no way somebody's gonna confuse you for somebody else. But why don't we go ahead, let's pop the hood and see what's powering this Shelby Super Snake. All right, guys, we got the hood popped. I am gonna zonk that it's a prop rod, especially from Shelby American. They could have put 2 hydraulic hood struts, but boy, oh boy, oh boy, look what we have underneath the hood of our Super Snake. So that is that Coyote. Started off life as a Coyote 5-liter V8 from the factory, 460 horsepower. Not anymore. You're looking at 800 horsepower from that hand-polished Whipple Supercharger. I love the radiator overflow tank, all aluminum. Look at the beautiful welds, all hand done, spot on the money. You could hang that on the wall at the Louvre and people would stare at it all day long. But boy, oh boy, I'm also staring at that engine. So 800 horsepower. We have, like I mentioned, the 6-speed manual transmission. If you know how to dance on your twinkle toes and row through your gears, 0 to 60 in about 3.5 seconds, quarter mile. at 11.6. And here's the crazy news. You're still gonna get around 15 in the city, 24 on the highway. I'm sure though, with the more lead you have in your right foot, those numbers are gonna drop real quick. On top of that, besides the aluminum overflow tank, you got that increased radiator capacity. We have a short throw shifter. We have a one-piece drive shaft. So when you go with the manual, you're gonna get a one-piece drive shaft. We have the Ford Performance wheel studs. And when it comes to half shafts, so to get the power to the ground, because we're now producing, we almost doubled the horsepower, right? A lot of people think, oh, I'll just go get my Mustang GT for $37,000 and throw a supercharger on it. There's a lot of things that could break in the drivetrain. So what Shelby American does, they beef those things up, like the drive shaft. They go to a one-piece drive shaft. You got the 373 gears out back, and the half shafts are also strengthened to take that extra power. And you're also getting the extra suspension work that's gonna help you get the power to the ground. But if you're ready, I'm ready. Get ready for an eargasm. We're gonna fire up this Shelby Super Snake. All right, guys, we're inside this 2019 Shelby Super Snake. I know you're at that point. You're like, Joe, I'm thinking about getting a new Mustang. I've been eyeballing that GT500. It's got a lot of performance for the money. How much is this one? Because this seems to be that much extra special. Now, remember, being a true Shelby American vehicle, you do get your CSM number, which is gonna follow the life of this vehicle, and this goes in the official registry, so it could be tracked the whole time. That's something that the Ford GT500 does not get. But if you're wondering, well, what's the price? This only has about 1,800 miles. Asking price is right around $88,000. Brand new, it was around $120,000. So not only are you gonna save yourself gobs of money going with this pre-owned one, but this lines it up. They actually have a GT500 inside for about the same price. So you could see where do you want to spend your money and what are you getting. Now, we're going to start just on the dash and really show the features. So you're going to get that nice machined aluminum look. There's your Shelby Super Snake CSM badge, and there's a ton of them all over the vehicle, including underneath the hood. But there's the number, there's Carroll Shelby's signature, obviously from the engraving machine. One of the biggest changes, you're going to get this beautiful carbon fiber gauge pod. 3 separate analog gauges. You got your boost pressure, your fuel pressure, and your oil temperature. Because remember, they change out the fuel injectors, they change out the fuel pump to generate more power. You're still gonna get your performance pack gauges from Ford, so you have your oil pressure and your vacuum. You have your 8-inch sync system. You got your P51 style toggle switches. Now, if you're not a fan of the Recaros, guess what? This doesn't have Recaros, so that means you're gonna get ventilated and heated seats. Standard Ford key fob with the Mustang on it. Would have been nice to have a Shelby plate on there or something, but boy, oh boy, look at this short throw shifter and Ford Performance shift knob. First, second, third, fourth. I can't wait to row my boat with you, especially with this beautiful looking short throw shifter and that shift knob. 2 cup holders, of course. I got plenty of headroom in here. And then the seats. Of course, you're gonna get some more Shelby Super Snake name, the Cobra there, that microfiber suede material all the way down. They're comfy, and you know what? They hold you in place. My only zonk is that they don't have a power back. It's power on the bottom, but no power on the back. But speaking of the back, why don't you come back over here? Because I want to show you behind the business end of this Shelby Super Snake. All right, guys, we're behind the business end here. You can see you get this beautiful aluminum sill plate that lights up with the Shelby name, the Super Snake name. You got the classic 3-pedal setup, which guess what? Go buy a GT500, you're not gonna find extra pedals. If you find extra pedal, you're in a make-believe car, because that car does not exist anymore. These seats are fine. I prefer the Recaros personally, but you know what? I think for comfort and for also holding you in, they do a pretty decent job. I think the biggest zonk on this whole interior is gonna be steering wheel. It's just a standard Mustang GT steering wheel, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but I would like a nice Shelby race style, maybe flat bottom, some carbon fiber and some leather, which would be an extra nice touch. The wonderful news is you are, of course, gonna get that beautiful 12-inch display, and you could go through the different modes real nicely, and that changes up the whole display. You got 12 inches. So not only can you have your Shelby, but you can have your 12 inches too. I mean, life doesn't get any better than that, and it'll make all the people around you very, very happy. But we're not gonna do the back seat. We've done Mustang back seats. I don't even care about the trunk. If you're ready, I'm ready. Let's take this supercharged Super Snake for a spin. All right, guys, we're in the 2019 Shelby Super Snake, 800 horsepower, Whipple Supercharger. I'm feeling pretty damn good, I'll be honest. I love looking out across that crazy hood, especially with the heat extractors staring me right in the face because they're just so raised from the lower portion of where the stock Mustang GT hood is. You get your bulge. You get your bulge when you go Shelby Super Snake for sure. Boy, oh boy, but why don't we get a little bit on throttle? On throttle! God! Wow! Wow, wow, wow. This thing is intense, and it's just it's a certain relationship that you have with a car when you're able to road through the gears. I love the popping and the banging coming from that special Borla tune exhaust for this Shelby. Really, really freaking wonderful. Wow. Look at this. On throttle! It's crazy because when you go supercharged power over turbo, you're not waiting for any boost. It's instantaneous because that crankshaft is driving the supercharger. I love the extra gauge pod that you get. Like I was saying, the interior is gonna be straight up Mustang interior, but that's the same news if you go Shelby GT500. But you have a little bit more flexibility. And if one of the things that were holding you back from the GT350s, you didn't have your digital display, this has the 12-inch digital display, and it's got the supercharger. So something to think about for sure. All right, guys, let's go ahead and do this one more time. All right, what am I saying one more time? But let's do it another time. Here we go. On throttle. Yeah! Oh my God! It sounds like a jet plane. It sounds like a jet plane. Wow. The GT500 does not sound like that. And the GT500 is supercharged, but boy, oh boy. It knocks you back in the seat. It's one of those cars that I remember my dad telling me stories of how back in the muscle car days, the original muscle car days, you put $1 or a $10 bill or whatever on the dash, and you tell the person that's strapped in that they could have it if they could grab it when you're on throttle. And what happens is you knock them so far back in that seat, they're all the way in the trunk. That's what you feel in this thing. That's the kind of G-forces that you're getting on acceleration, to where it puts you back in the seat and it doesn't let go. Clutch operation is great, super smooth, even in traffic. That's another thing, is that think about the work that it took to develop a vehicle that's enjoyable in a traffic situation, but boy, when you're ready to turn up the wick, it's like lighting off a big old box of TNT. And this thing is dynamite. All right, guys, here we go. On throttle. Yeah! Oh my God! Wow! Look at this. Look, the handling, the responsiveness, the grip. Unbelievable. I'm telling you right now, they have created an all-new Mustang. I mean, this Shelby Super Snake feels so different from a GT350, GT500, Mustang GT, Performance Pack Level 1, Performance Pack Level 2. It doesn't matter. This is really, really a unique experience. Wow. All right, right, guys, second gear on throttle. Jesus. The brakes, everything feels so good. Look at this. Oh my God, I want one of these. Wow. I'm just spinning. You just spinning. Unbelievable. God. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Wow. And if for anybody who thinks that I'm faking any of this, you're out of your freaking mind. I just want to just put that out there because every now and then I see a comment or two. Oh, you seem to be taking it a little overboard. We're not taking anything overboard. This is the real legit deal. Get down to Elder Ford and drive this. You'll feel exactly how I do. All right, guys, hopefully this gave you a great overall feel of what the Shelby Super Snake is all about, especially when comparing it to a GT500. We're gonna get back to Elder Ford, but one more time, on throttle. Yeah! See you soon. All right, guys, it's been an amazing day here at Elder Ford. I definitely gotta thank Nadia, Jason, the rest of the crew, getting us access to this freshly traded in 2019 Super Snake. I don't know. I think if you want to go old school and roll your gears the old-fashioned way, plus you want something that's so unique that is going to stand out from the sea of GT500s that are winding up at your local car show, car gathering, or local drag strip racing event, this Shelby Super Snake brings it. And boy, oh boy, you let somebody else, not me, you let somebody else take the depreciation hit for you. But if you want to keep seeing muscle cars that have so much freaking power we can't even get into the ground, leave a comment in the comment section. If you're new and you're on your way out, hit that subscribe button. I promise you it's worthwhile. Come back for more. If you are a subscriber, thank you for being part of the Radies Rise family. If you want to help us keep making great content just for you in the channel, click the link in the description, get yourself some Radies Rise merch. Got to get it up to Crown Vic, working the camera out here like a champ. He's going to do something. He's going to actually do a cover-up tattoo now. He has one too many BMW tattoos, so what he's gonna do is actually gonna have a tattoo artist get the Shelby Cobra and do a cover-up right over one of those BMW logos. So I can't wait to showcase for that for everybody to see for you, Victor. And just like always, guys, I'll see you on the next ride.